Good evening, and thank you for coming to follow the schedule night at Shore Middle School. My name is Craig Vaughn. I teach 8th grade science here at Shore, and I apologize for not being able to join you this evening. Our football game got rescheduled on account of not being in school on Tuesday or Wednesday. A little bit about me. This is my 14th year teaching science at Shore. I have a wife. Her name is Julie. I have two little girls named Avery and Peyton. I coach track in addition to football here at Shore, and I'm a former Mentor School student, kindergarten through 12th grade. I went to Hopkins, Memorial, and Mentor High School. The materials that I would like my students to bring with them to class every day are their iPad, assignment notebook, headphones or earbuds, their science folder, paper, and pencil. This is the 6th year that the 8th graders in Mentor schools have been one-to-one with iPads. So the expectation for them is to bring them to school each day 100% charged, that they download only school appropriate apps through self-service, and that they don't use their iPad for social media during the school day, and that their phones are in their locker during the school day from 8:40 to 3:40. The furniture that you see in the classroom is nice to have for a blended learning classroom. It makes it really easy to move, makes it easy to group the students, and for whatever the lesson calls for the day, whether we're doing station work or simulations, I can really kind of tailor the space to what the needs of the lesson are, which is nice. The most commonly used apps for science this year are going to be Schoology, which I'll talk about shortly, Edpuzzle, which are videos with questions embedded in them to check for student understanding while they watch, Quizzes, which is a game, like a multiple choice student response game that we'll use to review for quizzes and tests, Quizlet, which are vocab flashcards, and Socrative, which is kind of like PowerPoint, but more interactive, and the students can receive feedback while they're going through the activity at their own pace. And then Seesaw, which is basically an online portfolio. Schoology is going to act like our class website. On there, I'll have a calendar or agendas for the week or the month, notes, files for class, videos, discussions, quizzes and tests will be taken on Schoology. So that's the first place that students should look if they happen to be absent. And you should have received your parent codes for that already to join the class, but if you have not, I can send my students home with them next week so you can join our class and see what's going on. Retakes I'll talk about in a minute here. The grading scale is 50% in the summative category, which are tests, quizzes, and projects, 40% in the formative category, which are classwork, homework, just the stuff that we do every day, activities, labs, simulations, etc. And then 10% is Achieve 3000. And Achieve is a reading program that monitors student lexile gains over the course of the school year. And the types of activities that we'll be doing for Achieve are after a student reads an article, they'll answer some comprehension questions about what they just read, and they would get a score based on that. And then for roughly half of the articles that we do in science, they'll have to complete a thought question as well, which is a multi-paragraph response to a prompt, where they'll also have to cite evidence from the article that they just read in their answer. Students will be able to retake quizzes in science this year. Each unit that we have is divided up into roughly 4 to 6 sections, and each section takes roughly 2 weeks. At the end of the 2-week section, the students will take a quiz, which is somewhere between 10 and 20 questions. If they receive an 80% on that assessment, they'll be placed into the enrichment group where they'll do an enrichment or extension activity. If they get less than an 80% on the quiz, they'll be placed into the reteach group, which they'll watch a short reteach video which goes over key concepts from the quiz. They'll do some small group instruction with me, and then they're going to be required to retake the quiz. If that happens, the student will bring home a paper for you to sign with the days and times that the retake is available, and you'll have to sign that and send them back with it in order to retake the quiz. It's important, I think, to say that the better score is the one that's taken. So if they do better the second time, that replaces the first score. If they do better the first time, then they do the second time, I would take the original score. So if a student is in the enrichment group and they want to retake the quiz because they earned a B the first time and they want to try and earn an A the second time, they have the option to retake the quiz. The unit tests and vocab quizzes, I'm not allowing retakes for those, just the smaller quizzes that make up the unit test. 8th grade curriculum this year is Force and Motion, Physical Features of Earth, Geologic Evidence, Genetics and Heredity, and then Continuation of the Species. So about 5 years ago, ODE switched to a model of every science every year. So you can see we have kind of a mixed bag as far as science content goes. We've got some physical science, we've got some geology and physical geology, and then we have some biology in the form of the genetics and heredity and the natural selection that we'll end this school year with. If you want to sign up for the Mind app, the information for how to do that is on the marker board to the right of the smartboard. If you need to contact me, email is really the best way, and I'm usually pretty good about getting back to you within a day or so. So again, thank you for coming this evening, and hopefully we'll get the chance to sit down and talk next month at fall parent-teacher conferences.